So yeah, the ocean is a terrible, horrible place that people should stay away from as much as possible. Here are some reasons why. Yep, we're looking at ships lost at sea, and not lost at sea as in they sank, lost at sea as in we don't know where they went. And that's not the same as a ghost ship, but then again, a ghost ship can be literally a ghost as in spectral, or just a ship that was found abandoned. The best known example of the latter is probably the Mary Celeste. Yeah, we did a whole video about her if you want to check it out, but spectral ships? Most people have heard of the Flying Dutchman. No, that's the Frying Dutchman. There you go, the Flying Dutchman, supposedly a ship from the Dutch East India Company who sank and now wanders the seas as a harbinger of doom. The Caleuche, a ghost ship of Chilote origins that sails around Chilo Island in Chile, which is apparently a sentient being, and the crew either is made up of drowning victims or lured in fishermen. And some folks believe that those fishermen that were drawn in were turned into Mbunche, which is another Chilote myth having to do with protecting warlogs, bending legs behind backs, but whatever. There's also the Bay Chalou fire ship off of New Brunswick, which is attributed to either a murdered woman or a murdered crew member, or the local natives taking retribution on slave raiders. And there's the Iron Mountain, supposedly steaming its way along the Mississippi despite having sank in 1882. Fun fact on that one, they didn't find the wreckage till several months later, and it was after a flood and in the middle of a field. Yeah, but what about the ships that just up and disappeared, such as... These two go together because, well, they went missing together, the HMS Blindheim and the HMS Java. Both were last seen during a gale off the eastern coast of Madagascar in 1807. It's believed that the Blindheim went down. She wasn't in the best of shape, if I'm being honest here. Considering she was built in 1761, so was over 40 years old at that point, plus had seen action in several wars, and her own captain had asked that she be put in for repairs and was denied. And the Java may have gone down while trying to rescue her crew. There have been reports later on about sightings of the ship in India, but they were unsubstantiated and ignored. And along with those two ships that disappeared were the 280 men aboard the Java and the 590 aboard the Blindheim. And speaking of Madagascar, Madagascar, the ship, not the country, was a British merchant ship that carried settlers to Australia during the Victoria Gold Rush. The ship left Melbourne with roughly 150 people on board in August of 1853 and was never seen again. Many think that she was attacked by pirates, and considering she had 2 tons of gold on board, that is a possibility. Another interesting theory that I just had to cover here is that some of the 110 passengers on board were actually the unknown accomplices in the private escort robbery. Basically a bunch of bushrangers ambushed an armed escort of cash and gold being sent back from the mines. Again, gold rush. They ended up taking about 10,000 pounds, that's money not weight, in cash and gold, and 2 of the participants, the Francis brothers, were arrested. One on Madagascar and the other attempting to board. 5 men were taken in for the crime, 3 executed, at least 1 got away. And the guards swore that there were more than 6 men at the robbery. So the theory says that the other robbers all got on board Madagascar and ended up taking her over to steal the gold the ship was carrying. Or, it could have just been a storm, who knows. And hang on, folks, we got one more for you. The SS Walrata, a steamship that sailed for the British Blue Anchor Line, disappeared along with the 211 people on board during a voyage in July of 1909. She was traveling from Durban to Cape Town, both in South Africa, but still over a 500-mile journey, and just up and disappeared. It's believed that she went down in a storm. The coast off South Africa is kind of well known for those, and there was one reported that night, and there's at least one account of someone on shore seeing a steamship being rolled over by a wave and then going under. He reported it to his superiors, but they ignored it. Oh, and an engineer that was on board actually got off the ship because on the voyage to Durban from Australia, he thought the ship seemed a little top-heavy and did not trust her stability. I guess he was right, probably. You can pick 'em, you can lick 'em, you can chew 'em, you can stick 'em. If you pro us out the sewage, you can shove one up your nose.